You're still watching Prime Morning. It's time for us to delve into what the newspapers have for us. Our guests are seated and poised for the conversation. You at home, we know you are seated and poised for it as well. So do send in your messages to us. And of course, we will definitely read it. We promise to do that. And we won't fail you, okay? So send in your messages. Let's get interactive. My guests are here. Solomon Asante, representing the NPP this morning. Hello, Solomon.
Hi, Rosalind.
How are you?
You are doing it.
We have to. Your viewers have to know that you are doing fine.
I hear.
And on the ticket of the NDC is Honorable Timothy Atabwade Awanterim. Good morning, Honorable.
Morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you too?
I'm fine, thank you. It looks like the two of you are in party colors, eh? Red representing the NDC, because you have red in your colors, and blue, white representing the NPP.
So you can read into colors.
Of course.
But don't we also have the red?
Oh, but
let me add the blue to the red. Where are we going?
Oh, no, that's really
And you yourself, you're in blue. Should I say you also tilted?
No, here's that front.
Anyway, look at what is on there. Look at what is on their breast. It looks like that.
Okay.
The symbol on their breast looks like that.
We'll definitely be talking just slightly about Frafranto, not much, because we all know that on this platform, Solomon declared his support for Honorable Alan Kojo Shremating. About a week ago, Honorable Alan Kojo Shremating decided to break away from the NPP party to start a movement. That's a movement of change, and his logo was the Frafranto, or is the Frafranto. Solomon hasn't been here after that announcement, and so we want to know from Solomon if he's still part of the NPP or he's joined the Frafranto movement.
This morning I'm here and pay the flyer that went out and pay the address. I am a communication member of the what? Of the New Patriotic Party.
Okay.
Is that not it?
Okay.
Yes. Even before the recent publication came out from Honorable Kojo Alan Shremating, that was when he decided he wouldn't go to the next election. I was here, I told you, well, I was in the MPP, I met this nice gentleman, I felt like, wow, I'm touched by the way he does his things. I felt like if this gentleman becomes the next president of the Republic of Ghana, it'll be okay for you and I, right? That is why I was with him. Now he says, look, I'm out of the whole entire family. I am a family member.
Okay.
I am a family member. Coach Cecil Atuquoye Jones, late. He could be a coach of maybe Liberty Professionals, fine, no problem. But when he decided he's leaving to Accra House of me being a die-hard supporter of the Liberty Professional, would he say, because I love this coaching, I love his style of coaching, I love him so much. So once he's moving, I'm moving. No, I developed that love because of the first team. I hope you understand me.
Okay.
So if he's moving away, fine.
That's for him.
Yes, that is his personal decision to take. I hope you understand me.
But were you hurt when he did?
What do you bring in hurt? Then it means I don't understand the fundamentals of what we're doing. It's a big family, and our constitution provides that every 4 years we should go in for an election to sort of elect one person to lead the party. So once the constitution, in the wisdom of the framers of the constitution, they brought that in. It therefore implies that members of the party at every 4 years will be divided into which choice they want. I hope you understand. And when that exercise is over, we are done.
Okay. Right, Solomon Asante has told us this morning that it's not about an individual, but rather about the political party. Let's quickly delve into what the newspapers are reporting. The Daily Statesman newspaper is the very first newspaper. Praise Guma urges MPP to tidy up for 2024. Akufo-Addo optimistic of impact of STEM policies. 25 Galamseyers jailed. Ochehene exploitation of African youth in Gulf region must end. And this is coming from the Ochehene. I'll do the Ghanaian Times newspaper. That is the next newspaper, the Ghanaian Times newspaper. At World Mental Health Day, MHA to rid streets of mental patients to restore dignity. I was speaking earlier about this, and I was saying that is a very, very good thing if it should happen. But Honorable Timothy Atabwade doesn't seem to agree. He says there are too many people who are battling with mental health, and it's not just those on the streets.
Rosalie, is that exactly what? Look, he said Do you know the number of mental who come to sit here with you? That is what he said. So put it in the proper context, don't misquote him. Or you think the way she put it is the best you want it to be?
You see, let me say good morning to our viewers out there. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
To Rosalind, who is looking fantastic this morning.
Thank you, Honorable.
What I was saying is simply that, you see, these are people we can identify on the street and associate them with physical mental illness and so on. So we can say they are mentally derailed. There are many more people, even as told by I think the World Health Organization, that told that over 2 million people in Ghana have mental challenges. We have a lot of the people who are out there quoting a lot of statistics, telling us the economy is good, the economy is good, the economy is good. These are mental patients too, who are supposed to be dealt with, because even their cases are dangerous than those we know. You know, when you see they are like ghosts behind the scenes, their cases are very dangerous. Because the mental one who is physical out there, we know him. So when you are meeting the fellow, you give him way to pass. But those who come with you and they are mentally derailed, calling themselves political analysts all over the country, can you identify them? So they are even more dangerous than the physical ones that we see out there, who know that because they are mentally derailed, they are in their corner resting. You understand? But what of those who are with us and their cases are they are even not curable? You only need the Spirit of God to exorcise them from that mental derailment. And for me, confining them and so on is not the solution to the problem. The solution is that most of them became out through a lot of myriad of problems. It could be marriage, it could be poverty, it could be anything psychological, you name it. It should be properly diagnosed and identified, and the people treated in accordance with the diagnosis that the fellow is mad because of AB. Some of them can be reversed.
We call them mental patients and not mad people.
But they are even better than the dangerous ones we cannot identify, who have turned themselves to spokespersons.
Okay, I'll continue. Yes, Solo.
You see, we will do a great service to Mother Ghana.
And I didn't comment on the Alliance thing, if I would add. So that you add it, because you have finished with that. The Alliance thing is just simple. You see, I've heard people talk, and then, like he said this morning, truly they all belong to an institution and a house. But he was clearly dissatisfied with the treatment meted out to him, just simply putting himself out to contest for flag bearership. And as a result, he came out clear and then said that from today to go, I am no more a member. I'm going to form a movement. In fact, once he has said that, he's no more a problem. Those who have not said that, and yet they are with MPP, and they are the enemies within, are more dangerous than Alan out there, who has declared his intention that he has no need to go. But then he believes in the traditions of the founding fathers of the MPP, and that he was not going to campaign against your parliamentary candidates or so. And then when they win and can, he was going to count them. You see, the most important thing about such a colossus, when you resign from the institution, is that it takes away that adrenaline, that energy in the party, that spirit, that camaraderie, the friendship, the spirit that gels, the spirit that brings them together. That is what is taken away. It's not the fiscal declaration. In fact, some people look up to them to put all their energy, their strength, their resources. Why he withdraws? Why is that? Okay, I am still with MPP, but the amount of energy and work that I would have done for the party to win is what is normally the issue. When you interview a lot of people, they'll tell that, as for me, I'm still with MPP, I'm going to vote. But is it going to be the same thing if Alan hadn't resigned and they were all going to go into the battlefield in a unison manner with that spirit to fight? That spirit is what Alan has taken out. And that is what will cause them, not the fiscal human being. Okay. Because there are a lot of people in MPP who felt even more embarrassed or disgruntled by the treatment that has been meted out to them by His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and his group. You see, but they are still holding on to, because they don't want to make public outcry. When you listen to our brother, Honorable Kennedy Agyapong, look at the cylinders he's firing out there, the missiles, it's more destructive that if he had pulled out and then to set his own goals and to go, now he's in it. Yet, at the end of the day, the distraction is so colossal and so damaging that they cannot recover from that alone.
Let's see what the future
So for
holds.
me, it is not just the resignation, but you know, when you are together and then you trust him, I trust him, then he pulls out. If you are going for, even if you are traveling, the journey becomes bizarre. Even if you would continue to travel, you would travel, but in his absence, you see that there's something lacking in the journey.
Okay.
That spirit, that laugh, that gelling, that steam, that adrenaline, the camaraderie within the political party is what has been taken away.
Okay. Solomon, can I continue?
Rose, let me take
okay,
this.
briefly, so that I can continue with what the newspaper said.
Exactly. In fact, I wanted to say that I totally disagree with when we try to politicize issues of national concern. You see, this mental patients on the streets that the ministry wants to take steps to sort of get rid of them from our streets. Is it not a welcoming news? Should we go around it and those who come and say, in fact, he went around and then by the end of the day, he also came to say that those group of people, it could be out of marriage, it could be this. So why don't we just go and tackle this? So that you see the energy that with which we speak to that national issue will sort of inform people and then even urge those who want to take that step on. Look, it's a good step we are. But when it's there, it's like, oh, especially those who want to initiate that thing. It seems like citizens and political actors are not interested in this, so it may not even give them that zeal, that energy to sort of continue with whatever good intention they have. Let's go in for it. It's a cry that most of us have been crying all over all this while. Yeah, so if today they've seen the need to do that exercise, I'll say thanks to them. We urge them to go ahead and do it, because when we get our streets off these mental patients, then as he brought in at the last minute, wherever they have to be taken so that treatment will be whatever, then that thing will follow. But for issue of people coming to city or others who are in the majority, that one, I personally. And then the issue of this, look, I'll borrow the phrase of our late, may he so rest our late president, Fifi Evans Mills, His Excellency. He said, "Do you fear him?" He's talking about all these, but you know the sort of, problems that they are having. Look, when we come and sit on set, I'm not talking particularly about Mr. Atabwadi, but with other NDC colleagues, when we sit on TV, radio, and we close, we talk about our parties. We know what is going on. Hope you understand me. He was even referring to the fact that we thank God Alan has come out publicly, but those now let's take the whole party. We thank God that this thing has come. What about yours that it is in? It is eating it up. It hasn't come out.
Anyway,
so do you fear them? I'll borrow the words of.
We continue with what the newspapers are saying. Let's continue with the newspapers. ECN's limited voter registration exercise. Abide by security arrangement. Police urge minority occupy BOG protesters. And when are you protesting, Honorable?
Today,
okay.
That's what I'm even in red.
Okay.
From here, I'll have to join the group to ensure that we bring our message to the doorsteps of those against whom we are doing the demonstration for the people of this country.
Okay. The final newspaper. I know you called on Ghanaians, almost all Ghanaians to join, because yesterday I received a phone call where people were asking if I was going to join or not. And so if you want to join, it's open to everybody?
It's open,
okay. The final newspaper, so it's not about NDC?
No.
Okay. So it's not like when you join, you are an NDC member?
Even there are more political parties and civil society organizations and individuals who are joining, not because even there are some MPP members who will join. Those who cannot join us will sit at home and send us water and energy items for us to go, because they also believe that this is a national issue. And I know Solomon will join us. That's why he has worn his red inside. His red is inside. That's why he has covered it. Okay,
the final newspaper. Long queues on final day of voter registration in Accra. NPP Akufo-Addo, Bawumia, others mourn Theresa Kufuor. And yesterday we heard of the demise of Madame Theresa Kufuor, former First Lady of Ghana, and also a former minister and member of Parliament, E.T. Mensah, who is also a member of the NDC, also passed on yesterday. And our prayers are still with the families. It's quite a difficult time for the whole of Ghana because MPP lost, NDC lost, and everybody in Ghana has lost because one way or the other, a former First Lady is somebody who has served Ghanaians, and also a former minister is somebody who has served Ghanaians as well. So all Ghanaians are mourning, and we pray with the family. Educhum migrates education to online, starting with 30 schools and tablets for each student. Winner of flag bearer race has a lot of work to do, says Dr. Akoto. Exempt medication and dialysis kits from taxes and duties, says Mahama. Daily Guide newspaper, which is our final newspaper for this morning. 13,000 traders declare for Bawumia. Nana NPP mourn late Theresa of Kufuor. Killer houseboy pleads guilty, and we're discussing this morning as well. This boy killed his madam and stole her car and other items, and you wonder what is going on in the heads of some of these young men. He's only 22 years and he could commit such a crime. Well, he's pleaded guilty, but we are hoping that, whatever judgment is given to him at the end of the day will not be a pardonable judgment, but rather a judgment that will serve as a deterrent to others who want to follow suit. 25 jailed, 85 years for Galamsey. Voter registration ends. And that will be all for the Daily Guide newspaper. Now, earlier I did mention that some sad news that came in yesterday after an interview with patients of the renal unit of Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, who said that 14 members of theirs had passed on between the months of May and September. This is due to lack of resources, lack of medication in the units, and they were calling on the government to do something about it, because these persons could have lived longer if they had access to dialysis, if they had access to the kind of medication that they needed, if they had access to the resources that Korle Bu renal unit was lacking. Honorable Timothy Atapwade, your take on it, please.
Yeah, you see, when this issue about renal dialysis came up, sometimes I cannot even watch the news. It's so painful that as a country, we've not been able to surmount the problems that challenge this critical area of our health as a human being, as a country. Look, there are some of them that malaria, you name it, those ones you can easily rush to a drugstore. Something that has to do with kidney, lungs, things that are so complex and so on. I think until Professor Frimpong Boateng was brought as a cardiothoracic surgeon into this country, it was difficult to do that. And when he was brought under late President Rawlings' regime, every effort was given to him to establish word. And I think he has trained other heart surgeons and so. That is the way a country can move forward when we have the vision. Where have we gotten to? That kidney issue we cannot surmount. What does the statistics tell us? That the statistics tells us that the numbers are so overwhelming that we cannot dedicate some fund, even from our taxes, to ensure that people who unfortunately are caught up within this health challenge can be taken care of freely, no matter how rich you are. The issues of kidney are so expensive to the fact that even it will eat so much into your income such a way that it's painful. If you listen to stories about the fact that there was a young lady who was talking about, you can't even listen to the news about kidney issue. And sometimes when you are listening to it, you feel that if you have money instantly, you can even send for the patient to be saved. Apart from the excruciating pain the fellow will be going through, apart from the financial weight that is put on most people who go through this, it's just an issue that you cannot wish for your worst enemy. Now, a place like Korle Bu, and that is an area that kidney issues, because of the nature of Korle Bu and its historical antecedent and so on, is that most people go there for the dialysis. This issue came up about the fact that it was around 300 and something. It has certainly been increased to over 760 and so on. It's mind-boggling, and Korle Bu know very well that you cannot increase fees in government institutions without not passing it through parliament. There's no way. You cannot increase any fee, you cannot put any fine. Nothing, it must come through parliament. They've been doing it for over years. And when they put out this poster, it was clearly displayed on the wall. The CEO cannot come around and find lack of knowledge or not have seen it and tell us that he didn't see it, we should forget. Then why are you there as a CEO? In fact, beyond that, if that notice
let's not even forget the fact that the PRO granted an interview and spoke about the fact that, you know, they were at a point where if they don't increase the monies, then it means the renal unit might be shut, or
I'll come there. So, you know, but the attitude of the CEO is so mind-boggling. He thought if that notice was to congratulate him, he would tell us that he hadn't seen it. If that notice was to say that, look, you are the best CEO, you have done everything, we have now changed from the challenges that you used to have into a new decision, the CEO would tell us that he hadn't seen it. It was over the backlash that destroyed him. In other areas, such a CEO should have resigned with apology. You know that even if one fellow dies, as at yesterday, I think about 14 people had died. 14. And even before that time, you know, the CEO put up a figure that it was only 6 people who had paid the new fees, the increment, and they were taking steps to repay them. And yesterday I was listening to one of your news stations, and the guy brought receipts of about 8 of them. So the CEO told a lie. He told a lie complete. TV3, Hughes or so. He brought it, and you know what? They themselves sent the receipts to him, and they were over 8. If a CEO cannot look into the camera and tell the truth, he has no business being there. And that is what we have done to destroy most institutions in this country. Korle Bu has its challenges. In fact, I've been there, and sometimes people are, when you are brought in the emergency car, people, sometimes it can be crazy. People will lie in the cars that are brought. Then oxygen will be put on them because there's no bed to put the patients and put oxygen on it. Really? In this country, when so much money is going down the drain, passing through wrong hands, people are hiding so much millions under their beds. One fellow can hide over $1 million. Hey, and sometimes I don't even know where to take the issue from. But what is the role of government? We have put taxes on everything, including taxes on periods. Is that you call it period poverty? Blood. You are taxing blood. Blood.
They're taxing blood.
It's blood. They are taxing the blood of our women in this country. About 15 different taxes on one pad. What do we use the taxes for? Between my sister, between 2017 and 2020, taxes alone that we took, not foreign taxes alone, 383 billion. We can't set aside just 0.5% for people like this. Must we be there? It's embarrassing the whole world. Dialysis. Look at the waste of, look at procurement breaches, even in Korle Bu. Why? Today we are seeing that even look at Boss, what is happening there. You can go and buy iPhones over 280,000. Those people, when they were coming, we don't have some of them cannot even use the iPhones. Even me.
The iPhones, the cost is not 280,000 for 18 iPhones.
Is that?
One iPhone is about 15,000.
So that was the calculation.
Yeah, that was it.
So why would you buy 15,000? Do you know how much 15,000 can do for one renal patient?
No, my point is that even the calculation, the figures were inflated.
Yeah, but who made it to be? Why should they even buy iPhones? Don't be holding brief for those people, though.
No, I'm not holding brief. I'm saying that looking at the figures that were presented, they inflated the figures because 15 iPhones is not even up to 200. So why are they paying 200,000 for 15 iPhones?
The procurement of hot beverage,
18 iPhones, sorry,
beverage dispensing machines, all depots across the country. That is over 2 million Ghana cedis. They just put up a cappuccino for black people. You don't go and get some kinky and fish to chop. They should buy the. You see, it's so annoying. And we ask ourselves, if these were our private organizations, is that how we spend public money? You see, and it doesn't matter whether it's NDC or not, and that is what we're MPP or not. You see, we employ people, and this is the danger we do to ourselves. You know, some people come from us, one political party, and they say, "Oh, this man is from the University of Oxford. He has worked with the UN. He has no blemish of. He's an anti-corrupt good. Anti-corrupt At the UN, you don't even come near the money. So you are not even, you cannot even steal. You cannot even procure. But when they come here, one CEO is doing everything. Money is passing through the hands up and down and so on. So you become a thief. Some of them are stealing, naked stealing. Look at the corruption of corruption issues under this government. Who would have thought that the president Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, someone people say he was so clean, he's someone who for corruption and indiscipline he would not. Look at the Auditor General's report. That alone, can't we set a fund? And President Mahama talked about the fact that we must remove taxes from the dialysis machines and every consumables that we use for the kidney dial. Why must we be putting taxes on it? If you look at health insurance, the amount of money we take as an institution for health insurance, all is not paid to them. The Minister of Finance still withholds it. And I listened to Dr. Okoboy, who is currently the CEO. He told everybody, look, if that amount of money is released to the health insurance institution, they won't have problems with payment and so on and so forth. Why would the Minister for Finance withhold that money?
Let me bring...
So I am just saying that...
Solo in this conversation
we can arrest the situation. We can even set up a health fund dedicated for it. We've set up so many funds in this country. You remember when COVID came, there was a fund that was set up for COVID, being managed by, I think, the former Chief Justice or so. And so if we can set up fund, look at the issues that are coming as a result of the frontier health services at the ports and so on. Look at the Minister of Health. You are going to buy COVID, and you went and overblew the amount from $10 to $19, and that was a pandemic. You want to profit when people are dying. What sort of profits is that? So our attitude towards these institutions must be very clear, and the people of this country must stand up against such governments and CEOs and so on.
All right, Solomon.
Let me, in the first place, commend Honorable Atta Boadi for some lines that he has touched on this morning. But I didn't see him as usual. I didn't see him as usual. He sounded...
What is my usual?
No.
He sounded more than
like, thank you. And you know, when I hear such things, how easily I identify myself with such statements. Yes, I like it that way, because that will let you be able to put the problem on the table barely, and then viewers, contributors, you yourself and ourselves, we can make proper diagnosis.
But when you wasn't here, I'm not cutting you. Last, you know, the text told us today's program was educated. You know, I was telling about it.
I knew you would go into that.
You know, I was telling about the building, the controlled demolition.
Yeah.
Have you seen that since that day? They've not talked about it. So you now believe what I told. So when I tell you something, you believe me.
Okay, Honorable. Solomon, please continue making your point.
He was touching on, I want to ask, for education purposes, I want to ask whether he trying to, not he tried, he did say that he doesn't understand why the Ministry of Finance holds this. I want to ask whether it is a current situation that we are seeing, or is something that has been practice. If that is, what are some of the solutions that we can profile for such things not to? Because if it is statutory bound, if it is by statute that exercise is done, then it means we have to go back to the legislature so that something will be done.
The issue is even this: statutory funds like health, common fund, and all those things. The law clearly distinguishes and says that once you deduct, you pay it straight. You don't withhold it.
Yeah.
Straight into it. And I can also say that I think at our time the minister used to withhold it. But you see, the quantum, and it is so with this government because you remember the cocoa syndicated.
Well,
cocoa syndicated laws are supposed to be used by Cocoa Board. This Minister of Finance bring everything under him. That's how come we are owing 14 billion for Cocoa Board.
Rosalind, I solicited for this.
Because you wanted to say that under their government they were doing something.
No. I said for education purposes. Yes. And he has, so now it is clear that is the practice. But he mentioned the quantum. You see, he used the quantum. I don't know what informs the current decision that much quantum of money is retained or withheld. But as he said, It is the practice. As a people, and with the effects that we are finding, should we still advocate for such occurrence that it should still be so, or as I said, our legislature needs to sit down and then go and look at it again for us? But let's look. I'm looking at the general effect on the people. By the end of the day, because if the CEO, as he mentioned, is able to get the money in time to do whatever they want to do, it is to the general benefit of the people. I hope you understand.
Right.
So we should look at that angle. Then I will say, you rightly said that we've as a state, we've lost 2 important persons. And when you were talking about Honorable E.T. Mensah, he was a former as an NDC. But do you know currently, until his demise, he was a member of the Council of State.
Right.
Greater Accra. Greater Accra, the 2 representatives. He was the one elected. So he is.
Is he still serving the states?
Yeah, he died
he died as a statesman. So I just want to bring in that aspect because that got lost.
What's relevant?
No. He said he's an MP, but I want you to say that the nation has lost a member of the Council of State.
Even as an MP alone,
that is it.
It's big.
No. MP, somebody will say is a past. But listen to me.
He's still okay. So he's still a star.
I know why he's saying that, but I'll respond to him.
You can't just enter into my head to know why I'm saying that. No. But is it? I finished talking. Mine is to bring that part which got lost in your submission.
That's
for
fine.
Viewers to know that look, the man not only used not to be only a past MPO, but currently, until his demise, he was a member of the council representing Greater Accra. That got lost. And it's good for us to bring it out.
Okay.
That's one. I was part of those who went to vote for him.
No, we are aware.
You aren't. I was part of those who went to vote for him.
Right.
Yes. So let's get that, and then we say our condolences to the family, the political party, and the nation as a whole. Just as our mother, Madam Teresa, may their souls rest in perfect pieces.
Perfect peace.
You know, Madam Teresa is a woman that I've admired over the years because
you don't want to observe protocol at all. You got your time, just sit down for you to talk. And when it gets to my time, you want to. I gave you the whole time last weekend. Today, look at what I'm not done. I'm not touching on it. Let me talk about the allegiance is.
Okay.
The what? The dialysis. Please.
I'm not even touching on it. You see.
Please go ahead and make
try to.
We have other topics that we have to. No, I thought you were done. No. I thought you were done because you actually went into other things. So if we come to you, let's try to stick to our topics.
Thank you. Say it again. Say it again.
No, just try.
No, say it again because it comes from somewhere.
So please continue.
There is this member of the association, those the renal patients. He was saying he was attributing the whole problem to he says shortage, and then the cost of the current cost that is attributing to the lives that they lost within a space of a month. And I think if the CEO coming out to say he's oblivious of that the people are charging this thing, I think the ministry, as he said last 2 weeks, they came out with a publication that they will be looking into the matter. I think last week they came out with a publication that they will be looking into it. But I think the following day also, till now I've not heard it. I don't know whether they have gone into it. What is the article? In fact, they should make it known to the Ghanaian for us, because something is going on at the facility. The CEO comes out to say they don't know about it. The PRO of the ministry comes out to say they are going to hold an emergency meeting either that day or the following morning to say, till now I've not heard anything. If they are listening or watching us, I'll play with them. They should make whatever it is available to Ghana for us to know who is telling the truth and who is not doing his work properly.
Obviously, the patients are telling the truth because we've seen receipts of payments
that's not
made.
To cut you short. The PRO went ahead to say that those who have paid, which means they acknowledge that some people have paid. Those who have paid is either it will be refunded to them, or when they come for subsequent purchases, it will be deducted. That sort of. So they acknowledge. They are not denying the fact that people have paid. So that one, I don't even want to go there. But the fact is, they told us they are going to look into the matter as emergency as possible, so that whatever it is they make. So we are waiting for whatever it is. They should make it. It shouldn't be one of those that they will say we will look into it and then it dies a silent death. We need to know what is going on. You should know whether, because he was saying that the CEO, you can't put somebody there and not be doing his work, and then that's what he can't tell us that he didn't see this. If it were to be glorification of his position, he would have known it. So we should know. what came out from that thing. That is what I will be calling for. I hope you understand.
Right.
So we should get that one straight. And then, as he said, if it is the cost and then the shortage, what caused the shortage, they should let us know, because they didn't tell us. They didn't take us into details as to why the shortage. Something might have occurred for the shortage to arise. What caused the shortage? We should know. We are entitled to know. Then we all, put our heads together to take a very good step forward. So this is what I want to contribute to.
Thank you so much, Solomon.
I'm saying that, you see, we should also get to the bottom to know what exactly causes kidney problem, so that the issue can be arrested at its incipient stage or the early stages and so on. Then they should also be able to give the statistics of the number of people having kidney, because I don't think it's widespread like that.
It actually is, because there was a publication on the fact that there are a lot of young people who are now getting kidney diseases, especially those in their mid-20s into their early 40s. So many of them were getting kidney diseases, and people ought to take good care of themselves.
So it's a multifaceted issue, because you will now need to bring in Food and Drugs Authority to be able to examine most of these imports that is brought in terms of food, the type of food we eat, and people should be encouraged to take more locally produced food and so on. Why is it prevalent now? Why is hypertension? You know, when you have hypertension.
With this prescription, I have a feel that it's like you have preempted the cause, because you asked of the cause. They should come out to tell us what are the causes. Let's wait for them to come.
It's because of
the food that we eat, or the cause is as well. So then we can dive into it.
When it comes to kidney issues, it's more consumable. So whether it's the medicine, the drink, the food, whatever it is, it could cause.
When they come out, it will be specific. They will know that, okay, they say maybe alcohol. Let's maybe they say it's alcohol, or maybe they say it's this very component that we find in foodstuffs. Then we know how to. So I hope you understand. He has made a.
Let's move on to the next conversation. Bosokai spare parts dealers are giving government and the GRA 2 weeks ultimatum to vacate from their premises, because GRA actually did say that they were embarking on exercises to collect all the taxes that are being owed, and so some of their workers are actually stationed in front of people's shops and collecting daily taxes. But the dealers, that is Abosokai spare part dealers, are not happy about it, and they actually shut their shops for an hour, but they opened it again. Now they are threatening a shutdown for a longer period if government does not recall their people who are seated in their shops to collect this tax. Let me start with you, Solomon. What do you think about it?
This issue came up, I think, a year or two ago, when people from GRA were stationed at the various
shops.
Just for what? I think it's for tax compliance. So that people will be paying their taxes. When it came up, I was like, well, GRA needs money. And perhaps looking at, the delays or sometimes the evasion, why people want to avoid tax and other things. If they are stationed there, when the purchase is made, they know that this is what we are taking, especially with the VAT, the value added tax. So the moment it pays, they know that this is coming to us, so they take it from source. Maybe that same day, they know this, what they issue their receipts, everything. I think it's a good idea, because one, GRA needs money, and its money, the source, one of its sources is from the trading that is going on there. So if he's stationed there, they're not trying to meddle with whatever the activity that is going on at the trade premises, but its prime focus is on the revenue that is due government. Just when the purchase is done, it gives receipt. I think for that one, but the question is, why is it that they've been able to cope with the situation for some time now, and then just now, for about 2 years now, and then now they are telling us.
I think the complaint is more of the taxes that are being asked Ghanaians to pay are just too much, and also cost of living is so high, and so it's beginning to become a burden on them.
Okay, then I think they have a point not to say that they should withdraw those officers, because when
they're calling for the withdrawal.
I said that if that is the case, that the taxes are too much, then it's genuinely you come out to talk about taxes which are being too much, but not government stationing its officer there to take, which has existed for some time. And I think with that, it is improving the income revenue mobilization of government on the side of GRA. So this reason shouldn't, call for the withdrawal of these officers. I genuinely think so. It is about tax. It's too much. Why can't they come out and then say, I'm not saying they are doing something that is not called for. That is a genuine concern they are raising. And government come, government go. Every government that comes, you have unions, traders, whatever, trying to put in their views, their requests here and there. So it is nothing novel. We know that's the system. They have to call. They are constitutionally. They constitutionally have that power to do that. So if they are doing it, but where they are pointing it at
is where you have a problem.
Well, that is it. Because people are, for 2 years now, we've been able to stay with them. They take immediately government realizes its revenue. Immediately government realizes its revenue. Because in the absence of that exercise, people delay in paying. So the promptness of government receiving its revenue to see to whatever that they need to use the money for was a worry. But with this thing, it is like almost there and then government realizes, I think that will improve government revenue. Is that not it? Fine. So if they have a problem with too much tax, and if that is their concern, they should just hit on it. I will support them for that.
Okay.
I hope you understand me. But going this way, I think we are going, somebody say ultra virus.
Okay. Honorable Timothy.
Yeah, you see, it's interesting. It's not about taxation. It's not about government is not getting enough revenue. If you look at the mismanagement, the reckless nature with which money is being spent, is the bane. That was so kind people and all of us keep paying our taxes. We keep paying our taxes. So it's the fact that this government over-exaggerated its status of economic management of this country and told us that they were coming to move the economy from taxation into production. Where are we now? Of late, we've heard Dr. Mwakuba, Kennedy Ajapoyanko talking about the stealing and the corruption in this government. And that does not even annoy them. They start the money away into tax haven countries and so on. Kennedy Ajapoyanko, Dr. Mwakuba, that they've stolen so much that there's even no money. That is the real issue. If not, how do you deploy? GRA start to go and sit at somebody's door with a cane, with a rake. You know a rake? When small money can, they use it to pull it back. We used to use rake when we were in school. When you weed,
I know
then you
very
pull
well.
the rubbish. Now they're using it to pull the small coins. Because they've overtaxed every corner of this country, including even briefing. When you are working and not working properly, they'll say they will tax you for not working properly.
Honorable.
If they are taxing period, blood, women blood, what can they tax? It's about the
They are not taxing women blood. They are taxing pad, sanitary pad.
I'm speaking for the women. So if you don't want, then
so let's say it well. It is a sanitary pad.
And what is it used for?
Which we are all calling on the government to take it off.
In any case, what will make a government put 15 taxes on one pad? 15 on one pad. Don't go there because we know what has happened. So it's the colossal amount of how people are under stress. Look, let me tell you, as we sit this morning, so something has been battling my mind. How come our ports are losing businesses? Because of the taxes. And I ask myself, so look, what will it do? When you reduce the tax and people bring in more volumes of commodities, that is where you make much more money than when the taxes rather push out people. Businesses are folded up. And I cited on this platform that we imported a combined harvester. This combined harvester we imported, every implement imported under agri is duty-free. But the taxes they put on this solo, we ended up paying 120,000 Ghana cedis. After I'd gone to the minister himself, took the tax exemption listen, and then we even involved the Minister for Youth, current Minister for Youth, and an MP for Yaba Kubori. We had to go through, they even attempted seizing the item. So if all these people hadn't gotten in, they would have seized the combined harvester. And the people had to travel from Yaba Kubori down to Accra here to ensure that we clear. It took us hell of time before we could clear this, and the taxes alone. So my friend wanted to sell it. I said, no, let's clear it. So an item that is duty free, then you end up paying 120,000 on one item. What does that tell you? Everything is being taxed. You see, it is not also that even Bank of Ghana workers now go to the banks and sit there and put pressure on bank workers that any foreign transaction that comes, they also have another rake. They'll use the rake to pull it, send it to the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana has printed over 80 billion. I keep saying something here. It's not about the printing of the money. If that 80 billion was pumped into just Accra roads alone,
would have seen a lot of difference.
Would have seen a lot. Look, the people are tired. You go and sit, so people whose things are not being sold. The market is bad.
But they'll tell you that it was printed for economic recovery.
Do we need an economist to tell us what you are saying? Don't we know? Are we not in this country?
But that's what
we are in this country. What they've told us a lot of theories about what monies are being used for, including the cathedral. The last I was at the Speaker of Parliament office, I think on Tuesday or so, and he was giving news. I think your people were there, briefing about how the CPA, the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association will be having. I think they will be having it this week.
Right.
And he was citing tourist areas where people should go and visit. So I had to go and remind him that he has forgotten of a big tourist area. The cathedral is the most expensive hole. It's also a tourist. If the people can, they can go and see the most expensive hole in the world that has been created under this government. It's also another tourist area. So if you send people's money into wasteful ventures, look at the expenditure at what do you call it, at the presidency. And my sister, you see, when according to them, the COVID and then what do you call it, the Ukraine war has brought untold challenges to the economy. If we are going by that, it is even affecting the people more. So what you do is that you give them tax rebates, tax exemption, tax holidays, so that they can be able to recover from the challenges of COVID and then the Ukraine war and so on. Look at the waste at the airport and so on and so on. So there's a lot of areas we can maximize our revenue and be able to push into areas that we can develop.
So we reduce the taxes?
Yeah, they can be here. Because when you look, I've given you an example that look, from 2017 to 2020, tax revenue alone, 383 billion. That is outside the borrowing, which they borrowed over 475 billion. Total over 800 billion worth of revenue. And if these monies were pumped into areas that can produce and pay off themselves, like what our trouble gas is doing, they would have been, look, the economy would have expanded to the extent that it will have the capacity and the shock absorbers to bring in more challenges and to absorb it and won't have gotten where we are.
Right.
So for the Bosokai people, just like any other fellow, whom once you bring someone to oversee you in your office, there's always pressure on you. They need the freedom to be able to organize their items. Sometimes some of them will say that the whole day, nothing will be bought there. Just like any other shop within this country.
Yeah.
So
and if they buy one item, you are taxed for that one item.
For it. So the tax is simply unbearable. And this is the government that said that they were coming. If you read the story further, they didn't mention nuisance taxes.
Anyway,
they didn't mention nuisance taxes.
Let me bring Solomon in. Solomon, you want to say something?
Yeah, though I've had my portion already, but I just want to say something about this. Honorable Timothy, at one point you were telling, he was saying the taxes that the people are paying is a nuisance. He went further to describe we can this 80 billion. This why can we do it? Okay, I was asking myself, oh, that's great. So where was
that? Wasn't tax. That wasn't tax. It wasn't tax money. It wasn't tax revenue. In fact, it was just printed, and the government so motu wrote on 48 billion.
Without these beautiful ideas, where was Honorable Atabuade when His Excellency John Mahama was? When the party was in power, let me put it that way. Where was he giving all this analysis? Where was he? I couldn't hear his voice anyway. So where was it? Is it the hypocrisy of all this and the politics of it? It's good sometimes to point out some of this.
The unfortunate part is that they were voted into opposition, and you have been voted into power, and so you will be the people on the chopping board.
I just want to end by quoting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the former president.
Quote well.
He says,
one of your legs hanging.
you have not been anywhere near the presidency. So I don't blame him.
No,
he hasn't been anywhere near the presidency. So he may give all these nice and perhaps when he finds himself in the shoes of John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, maybe
you know
the current president, maybe he will understand why.
Maybe he will understand why. On this Sunday, the guy called me and said, "Honorable, how you?" I said, "I've been listening to you. You wait. When you people are there, we'll come after you."
No. That is it. You've not been anywhere
what
near
I said is what you people said. In fact, Bawumia and Samira, Second Lady Samira, are on Twitter deleting all the tweets they said about John Dramani Mahama. I am not going beyond that, but once you brought in these high hopes, if it is not going well, show some humility. Social humbleness. Tell the people that, look, we came in with this idea, but the challenges we cannot surmount. They want to move you with the challenges ahead. When you are moving the people along your policy, they would give you a
I'm coming.
Okay, let me read some messages.
What wasn't said?
I'll come back to you.
What wasn't said?
Yes.
When we were faced with these challenges, and then government won any mitigation measure that the government is bringing, especially, let me point just one, this pension board, DDP. You see, what wasn't said? He said he is trying to say that government should come out and tell the people, look, maybe what we are facing, this is this, and that is what we're going to do. I said, what wasn't said during that era?
We brought it onto us.
You heard that like Jamante.
Let's continue, Honorable. We might not be able to read our messages, Honorable, please. George Akwesi Bobby answer says, watching live from Dubai. All right, George, thank you so much. Good morning, Roslyn. How on earth should any government voted into power and being paid by taxpayers' money always announce the minimum wage and not telling we the citizens the maximum wage, all in the name of economics, because we don't have anything called a maximum wage. By so doing, they will be paying themselves unthinkable amounts as their salary. The citizens must know how much the top position occupied by people in government, their maximum wage, so we all can do same calculations as they do in a minimum wage. God help our nation, Ghana. Thank you, Hamza Hiadara from Takrade. All right, Hamza, thank you so much. Alaji Hamza Pig Farm says, good morning, madam. Truth be told, I'm sad this morning and my heart bleed for this nation. Madam G. Mensah must be told in plain language that she is not doing the Ghanaian voter a favor but a service. Madam G. Mensah has the responsibility to facilitate and not frustrate the Ghanaian voter. For God, Ghanaians who are above 18 years and with sound mind has a right, according to the Constitution, Article 42 and 45. I wonder why this woman is getting her powers from. This is a woman who will not listen to our chiefs, CSOs, and various political parties. Look, it is time this woman be called to order, and she should remember this is the poor taxpayers' money that she's used to pay. That is used to pay her. Her arrogant posture is not helping solve matters. All right, thank you, Alaji Hamza. Good morning, Roslyn. Your team. Nowadays, our hospitals are run as business entity with profit making. They now call patient clients. Okay, if we play politics with it, the hospitals will be turned into death wish facilities. The client is not the issue is not with dialysis alone. Greetings, Honorable Atabuade Ed Thomas Alonso.
You know, that's my brother. He's the MPP candidate for my constituency.
Okay.
Thomas, right. I'm greeting you.
That's another government policy for you. One shop, one tax man. That's a lazy way of generating revenue. Expand the tax network and stop taxing the few who are paying. The tax men should follow the masons, carpenters, tilers, painters, and plumbers. Gariba Ekuse. So I mean, this actually makes a lot of sense, because you see, as much as they are taxing these people in the shops, there are people on the roads or people who are doing other jobs. Why are you not following them?
Let me tell you this. Okay. That brings me to e-levy. You know why it was brought? The ministers or the ministries, they said, look, the percentage of taxpayers, those who direct taxes, is just 7.8. And that's those in the formal sector paying direct tax, 7.8. The other 92.2 were out of the bracket. So let's bring in that thing called e-levy so as to get those people on board. You know what we went through. It's history now. It's history, because it has gone through some review and this. You know, we couldn't. And then at the end of the day, we got a whole minority leader came out to hit his hand on his chest. So yes, the unsuccessful this thing, yield levy was as a result of we giving it that opposition. I said, wow. Now Ghanaians are asking, why can't you expand? Rather, and he was even pointing fingers at plumbers, masons.
Okay, so his point is that if you are doing something, do it right. Don't identify certain group and leave the others out. Because we are looking at the masons, we are looking at the painters. Why are you not following them? Why are you going to sit in shops at others?
Thank you. That is why that thing was brought, so that the plumber, the electrician, those in the informal sector who do not are not paid salaries, but they are paid per the work, the contract that they receive. But when he gets the money, he will go and do some sort of electronic transaction here, so that those people will also be, taken into, they will be captured into the bracket, so that something little can be taken from them in the form of taxes. But when he came, we said no, we don't like it.
But you still implemented it.
That's what I'm saying.
Whether we like it or not, it's still in being.
A policy, when it is brought, it has a target, it has a scope, it has a schedule, everything involved there. That's a project. Now, how was the project treated? Was it stifled? Was it given that environment to operate, to realize its dream or the vision that is set for that project? You and I know what.
Whenever there's money projects, money is being paid projects in an economy that is already struggling, don't expect people to accept it. It's normal.
Even if it is not struggling, even if the economy is not struggling, humans ordinarily do not want to pay tax.
But unfortunately, it's true. But unfortunately, e-levy came at
and
a
for
point
political
where
expediency,
we were
those who
struggling.
even know that yes, this thing will help, will sort of join the chorus by saying it is threatening, it is that,
Solomon,
but it's not that.
When we talk about e-levy, see, the problem here with e-levy is that we wanted to widen our tax bracket. We wanted to achieve a certain amount of monies at the end of the day, and then we scrapped road tax. That was given a certain amount, and we didn't even raise that amount when it got to e-levy. So why do we still have e-levy? And why are we not bringing back the road tolls?
We shouldn't throw away road tolls. Let's add the road tolls to the e-levy.
Why do we add road tolls to the e-levy?
I said, why was the call not in that direction? That look, why should we take some out? We need more, so let you come, more should come. Why was all? At least don't take the road toll out. Why didn't we make that call?
The call was.
Even we were happy the road toll has been taken off. That stress of being in the traffic for 2 or 3 forecasts to slow down, pay before it gets to your turn. That thing was taken, so people were like, oh yeah, it's okay now. It's okay. Why weren't we making that call? Look, you brought 11, it's good. We are expanding. So you know what? Don't take road toll. Add it, bring it back, and add it to the. We didn't say that.
No, but who was?
We were happy with the scrap, but we were not happy with even introduction. Is it? That is human nature.
No, but Solomon, let's.
I'm not saying it is good. It is something that makes us happy when we are being taxed. Because myself, I'll pay. When I get there, I'll pay. When I'm doing my transactions, I'll pay. I'm also affected, just like you.
At that time, government was being told that if it's the road tolls that is making you the money, government was scrapping road tolls because they were talking about accountability, where they were not finding some of the monies. And people were calling on them that then try and find the money, put the system in place, and don't do e-levy. The projection on e-levy didn't even work. And yet, we are still on the e-levy. Who will call you to bring the road tolls back and still have e-levy?
For the projection of e-levy not working, I told you we have a whole minority leader coming out there to say, hitting his head on his chest. Yes. For its unsuccessful nature, we did it. We made sure we put an impediment on the way. So for that one, you know where it is coming from. I hope you understand me. And they call. You said they called that this is the toll booth. Look, the toll booth. When the minister was explaining, the finance ministry was explaining, they were saying that because they are broadening it. It's not everybody who is a driver who drives that will pay that is so. Because of the electronic one that they are bringing, those even drivers will also be doing that same thing. So that it's like we have taken something that covers only a minority to bring in something that will cover a majority. I hope you understand me. So, to me, with that explanation, I thought like, well, okay, if that is, but it doesn't stop us if we feel like we need more taxes, so this thing should be taken off. Then we call on the government. You brought re-levy. We are crying about why do you take this bring it back? We didn't do that. We didn't tell government to bring it back. I'm not saying it was a good thing that was done, that we are bringing e-levy, because definitely I told you, every human being ordinarily will shy away from paying tax. In fact, we pay taxes with some form of difficulty.
Anyway, we continue. No, you can chip it in. You want to? Okay, he's done 2 points, so you want to chip in a little bit.
This government is completely a disappointment, and they are bereft of ideas, and they are disturbing us in this country. In any case, who told us that they were not going to tax mobile money? Also not His Excellency Vice President Bawumia that told us in his interview that they were going to tax mobile money, and he denied categorically. And that explains why up to today he has never commented on the e-levy. It's the Vice President an NDC man, or he has changed his car to an NDC man. In any case, Parliament, look, debates in Parliament are done by consensus and negotiations. They are not done by belligerence. You come, whether you like it or not, we are doing it. It's not done like that. It's by consensus building in Parliament. Was that consensus? In fact, the Constitution clearly stipulates that sovereignty rests with the people and power emanates from the people. Are you now telling the people who are out there, who voted for, who rejected e-levy, that they rejected on the grounds that Parliament, the opposition rejected? We told you from the beginning that consensus means that, look, the rate at which you were even putting the e-levy was high. You can bring it to 0.5. Haven't you gone back to that? It was not only NDC. Economic analysts, civil society organization, survey was conducted, and people said they didn't want, because it means that you can even do double taxation and so on, which is against the Constitution. You went ahead. Parliament, when they brought the budget, it hadn't yet been passed. You went ahead and cancelled road tolls, which is against the law. You flouted the law. People should be hauled before court to be charged for willfully causing financial loss to the state for what they did. You understand? And all these are criminal cases that one we can investigate them. You understand? So when the people reject a particular policy because it's eating so much, in any case, that year when you did your budget alone that you did, deficit financing alone was over 30 billion. The projected revenue was about 6 billion cedis, if you remember. And when you add the yield that we're going to get from e-levy into it, the deficit alone was 30 billion. How are you going to fund it? And you were telling us that the e-levy, with that e-levy, you go to IMF. Was that not what you told us? If e-levy doesn't come, free HSS, there will not be employment, a whole lot. You listed so much that even if the e-levy had come, you would have used that to implement. When you were running to the IMF with your tail in between your thighs, did you tell us, even after the day you were running to IMF, your members of the deputy minister I was on the floor saying that we are not going to meet those small boys. Yet the president was asking that when he was calling the IMF people, his phone was getting cut off. Anytime he called, they would say, who is this president disturbing us? And finally, for the call to
were you there?
For the call to go through, and for
anyway,
for the call to go through, and the IMF people were surprised that you people, you say you won't come here with a small boy. That is how come the IMF now brought a police officer to the Bank of Ghana to say, because they knew the figures were bad. In fact, Alan Chemanten told us that he was the one who publicly defended the Ghana because the figures were bad. By 2019, the figures were bad. And I've told Professor Jambafo, he walked out of cabinet meeting because he told them that the borrowing and the figures were bad. Since that time, I've heard Professor Jambafo talked about it. He walked out. And that way he was even made to apologize in front of small boys like Dr. Honorable Nkrumah. What is the Minister for Information? Nkrumah. So the man was peeved. So you brought it onto yourself. And like I told you, look, most of the challenges that we have with this non-payment institution is coming from Ken Ofori-Atta. He does not respect even his own cabinet decision. Even cabinet. Look, my sister, you know that you are close to some ministers who are MPs. Go to them one-on-one. They will tell you what this man has done to this economy. That is why they are now, some of them are using the
withholding the monies?
Not just that, even he does not even take advices. By 2019, the figures were bad. They themselves are not, look at it, they are not telling us, and so on. So for me, it's not just about NDC. In fact, as an opposition party, we are supposed to hold you to the fire of accountability and responsibility. And that is exactly what we did when we were in power. You remember Ochida? Ochida said that, dear members of parliament at the time, we're not holding us to accountable. That's what we're. And what the Niti will say, Honorable Niti will also, he kind of said, do you think that the demonstrations and the strike that were going on is from us who are doing it? Today you are telling us that we are knocking our. So should we knock our buttons? We'll knock the chest because that's where it comes from.
Rosalind, quickly, let me add. You see, I agree that Parliament, that thing needs the approval of Parliament before it sails through. Yeah. Yes. But we should not forget the fact that, and it is a fact, that Honorable Haruna Iddrisu once came. You know, this the rate was initially 1.5%. And then Haruna Iddrisu was even saying, at a point, he said that if it were even to drop to 1%, perhaps they would have.
If you want to say 5%,
I'm coming.
But now it's 1%.
I'm coming. That is what Honorable Haruna Iddrisu said. If it came. And then Secretary General Mosquitoes, who are you, who Bondog? We the party, we say no, we don't want you. You are sitting here say if 1%, your individual, is it that led to his predicament, current predicament? I mean, when they have to change the face of that led to because
they changed the whole face. It wasn't because of
it has a boiling cost. It has a boiling cost to that. I hope you understand. He as an individual thought outside the NDC as an individual. It's a good thing, but if it is to drop from maybe the 1.5 to 1%, it would have been a nice thing for us to agree. And then the general secretary, hey, who Bondog? Why should you? I don't really understand me. So you shouldn't sit here and let it sound as if we don't have political hands in what went on. I told you this man came out again and hit his hand on his chest to say that yes, we were the ones who made it unsuccessful. Yes, he was proud of it. It means a political party was behind what went on. We are not novice in this game. I hope you understand. We know how it works. We know what they do. We know how they can whip people on the streets.
Solomon.
Yes, but people that are being whipped on the streets do not sometimes.
But anybody out there, whether you like it or not, the money, whether you like it or not, if I have to pay money, it doesn't. Even if NDC doesn't say anything or somebody sits and
I've told you generally, ordinarily, humans. I mean, to pay tax, we don't eye for one. If we find it difficult.
I know people who decided not to be using mobile money because of the charges. Because imagine sending 1,000 cedis to somebody, imagine sending 5,000 to somebody, and you're losing 50 cedis that you could use for breakfast and lunch. I mean, it's too much. So at that point, what do you do?
Even now,
you look for other avenues.
Even if you are loading your card, you pay. They've now removed all the fetters. They've now removed those restrictions there. Normally, you call it what the benchmark. It's not free. Everything is now being taxed from the money and so on. Can you look in the eyes or straight in the camera and tell the people that you people say you were not taxing them?
But if you are sending anything less than 100, you are not taxed.
You are not taxed. Now you are not. Now you are taxed. It was initially.
No, there is an amount because recently.
No. It was initially.
No, just recently. Now, I've forgotten the amount.
This morning, I even sent someone 2 cedis. The tax.
Oh no! He hasn't sent anybody 2 cedis. He hasn't. You see that level? You see that level? No.
You see.
Let me show it to you. See, he's believing 2 cedis to who?
Why should they?
No, let's see. You see? You see? No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to have access. I said, show it to you. You have alleged. Prove it.
Said 2 cedis.
Prove it.
In this economy,
I sent 2 cedis to the one who send me. What do you call it?
Oh, must have stopped this.
Is it unit to make it?
So no. So he's buying 2 cedis.
Yes, they tax me. So it's not the same thing. You understand? It's not the same thing. If I buy units 2 cedis and they deduct me,
earlier I commended you for.
Must you be fiscally there? Even I'm doing business with you and you are deducting. It's not a business. So if I send 2 cedis, it isn't that I gave the 2 cedis to a human being. The one I send the 2 to give me credit for me to make call this morning.
That is
what are you telling me about?
Show me the record that shows that you bought 2 cedis. Yes. Show me the record that shows that you bought it.
You get it? It isn't that I sent to a fiscal, but the one that I bought the credit from.
Let's see.
Deducted. So what are you telling me?
Credit 2 cedis.
Yes.
Let me see.
I can't even buy 5.
Let me see.
You bought credit 2 cedis?
Yes.
Wow.
Let me see. Well, some people are buying 1 cedi.
Let me see.
I'm even better than those buy 1 cedi. Let me tell you something. So for me, the taxation is too much.
Right.
So when people are talking, it's not just NDC, because policy must always be all-encompassing, carrying the people along. So that along the line, when the implementation have challenges, people know that, yes, the guy carried it, just like the policy of the DC voting. You remember that policy? We said, no, we should vote them on non-partisan basis. They said we should vote them on partisan basis. And because our arguments were superior and we won the heart of the people, they couldn't implement it, you understand? So that is it. It's just like the cathedral. When you people said the cathedral, we were not going to use government money, you went behind the scene and went into the consolidated fund and took money. You understand? So if you carry the people along, and the people are part of the policy from the beginning to its implementation, they will really understand the problem, and they don't need any MP to explain matters to them. That is why I think you are failing, and you must always carry people along.
Okay, thank you so much. Some messages coming in. Good morning, Joy Prime. I'm really enjoying your show this morning. Please keep doing the good work. Thank you so much for sending your message. Good morning to you, Madam Roslyn, and to your panelists, especially to Honorable. In fact, Honorable has made my day. These are the kind of politicians we need, fair, honest, and truthful. Madam, what have we done as a nation in order to deserve this kind of treatment from this heartless, wicked, and corrupt government? But in order not to forget the quotation from the former president, okay, you want to say posterity, okay, posterity, it's actually posterity, shall be our judge, and clearly posterity is actually judging us. Okay, all right, so we want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you who sent in your messages. Yes, please.
Let me say hello.
Please. So I'll let you get, so we'll round up with that. We couldn't even complete our topics, but you went so much into the two topics that we discussed, so I had to let it go.
To say hello to Honorable Thomas Alans. He's my big brother, but he's a stubborn brother. And he's currently the candidate, the MPP candidate for the Brussels North constituency.
Okay.
He's the Director General of Marriage. I'm happy that he was watching. And I'm proud that he was watching and he mentioned my name.
Nice. Solomon, you want to round up?
Yeah, all that I want to say is, yes, I acknowledge, or we do acknowledge that tax is good, but we should not lose sight of the fact that when this government came into power, we were able to scrap about 17 taxes. We have it. Come on. We have it. We have it. We have it. Let me go my way. We scrap some taxes and then we reduce, you know, the 17, it includes
the
reduced
tax.
And then scrapped taxes. We did. Yes. That was before.
You and I know.
You wouldn't allow me to conclude. I say, in as much as I do agree that this, we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that this thing happened before 2020. Now, then we started having problems, and those problems led to introduction of some taxes to sort of augment whatever
problems caused by.
Yes, we have internal and external problems.
You are changing the fundamentals of the economy from
all right, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here today. We are super grateful. My guests have been Solomon Asante representing the NPP this morning, and on the ticket of the NDC. Honorable Timothy Atabwade Awantere. Thank you so much, gentlemen. On the 14th of October, actually, we are all going to the National Theatre for the biggest musical theatre, actually, to hit Accra. And it's actually The Sound of Music, the movie The Sound of Music. How do you solve a problem like Maria, Do, a dear, a female dear? 14th of October. Yes. Yes, you are. There are 3 shows. There's a 12 noon, there's a 4 p.m. and 8 p.m. Tickets are selling at 150 Ghana cedis, 250 for VIP, and 500 for a family of 4. You can get the tickets at Joy FM. You can get it at Airport Cell. You can get it at Maxwell 37 or ANC. Grab yours today, okay? Yes. You have to come with tickets.
He asked you, are we invited? Oh, you are invited.
You are invited to buy tickets.
You are invited.
Certainly, you must be invited first, so the invitation has.
No, it's extended to the general public.
Everybody is coming.
Yeah, everybody. Say everybody.
Yes.
Not general public don't have the privilege to sit here, sit with Rosalind. Some are even reminiscing how they can see her. You are here. Inviting you want to.
And those mentally deranged don't come to sit here.
Yes.
Those mentally deranged don't come to sit here.
Coach empty figures and disturb people
also,
in this
another thing is that, so after we all make our way to the National Theatre, we also go to South Africa, because South Africa has something great, you know. Have you been to South Africa?
I've been there.
You have?
I haven't.
You haven't. And we hope that we'll all make it to South Africa. Now, It's like nothing you've ever seen. It's your whole Delulu wrapped upon reality, and it's coming to you from South Africa. Now, this is a dream come true. From the iconic Table Mountain in Cape Town to the vibrant streets of Johannesburg, there is something for everyone. Kruger National Park awaits for wildlife enthusiasts, while Durban's golden beaches back on for relaxation. So we'll go and see, you know, the wildlife, and then we go to the beaches to relax. Now, whether you want to do it for the gram or for the adventure or for the glam, SA invites you to summer in SA. Believe us, it's never ever too late to summer in South Africa. There's so much to see in that one trip, even two. Now, you will not have enough to show, you know, to experience. So when you go, I mean, there's so much to experience, so much. You can contact us on www.southafrica.net to get started. South Africa invites you to write your own unique South Africa story. Come journey with us. So we will be going to South Africa. We can't wait to see you also in South Africa. I want to say a very big thank you once again to my guests. Super grateful. If you want to join the Occupy BOG, walk today, you can join, and it started already.
I'll be going there, and I want to see.
So if you want to join, you can go ahead and join. But if you don't want to join as well, you can be at home.